let's get it started just like this. Welcome to the Hardway Project. Step in the ring, it ain't no backing down.
It's really cool and exciting, Charles, to see your face again, but it's also very exciting, Charles, to see the number of subscribers go up.
Yeah.
Day in and day out. It tells me that people kind of like what we have to say, and which is funny because you and I really don't put a lot of thought into this stuff. We just kind of launch into it like two dudes talking about wrestling. I love it, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it comes straight from the heart, right? Just right off the, comes off our sleeve. It's not thought out too much. Some of it is, our deep dives is, but it's just two dudes talking wrestling, man. And I think there's like I said when we started this, man, I think there's a big group of dudes and really just people that fit our avatar. They're in their 40s, 50s that still watch and are fans of wrestling.
I'll take 40s.
Yeah, right. They still follow wrestling, love wrestling, and they came up through the golden area, through the independent promotions, and they follow wrestling to this day. And I think we're hitting a subset of people that are kind of maybe forgotten about out there.
Yeah. I think the one thing that we that we probably need to work on is just kind of our trying to engage the audience more, get the audience to kind of like push back on us, give us new ideas. So again, we welcome you guys. Any topic, I'll put it out there. Any topic, I don't care what it is. I mean, as long as it's not like weird, but like any topic. Say, Charles, JM, why don't you guys talk about this? We'll do it, and we'll give you a shout out. So
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Tell us we're idiots because we are.
Believe me. So yeah, welcome to our community, and hope you enjoy it. But today's gonna be a little chippy at least on my end. Charles looks a lot more chill than I am. I'm pretty hot under the collar about WWE right now, and believe me, Charles and I, we don't pride ourselves on doing this because we love the WWE. We love the role it's had in our lives. We care about the WWE, but there's some stuff that's going on right now that's not sitting well with me, Charles. And I gotta say it. What's happened to the idea of the tag team, man? Because what I see is a WWE destroying tag teams as part of its product. Like, little history. Why don't you tell us what happened, the big news this week with some of the tag teams that are going on?
Well, they're breaking up, right? Like New Day, they're gone, right? And I think it was a mutual parting of ways. I think they asked for more money or a new contract, and they couldn't come to terms, so they walked. I've always been a fan of Kofi Kingston. I think he's a great wrestler, man. I just think the New Day gimmick is mid. It's weird. I don't think it ever hit, even though they were champions. And I didn't get it. The Motor City, they're gone. And I think if you just look at the tag team stable in general in WWE, just look at the champion right now. It's R-Truth and Damian Priest, which aren't a tag team. Or different.
Love them.
Or different. Oh, I love them to death. Yeah, I think they're both great individual wrestlers. But yeah, it's just doesn't hit the mark. It just feels weird. Really, like I've been saying this for a while. The only organic tag team that I see that's even doing anything really is the Usos. They're the only ones that truly function still like a tag team. Jay had his independent run, man, and then he came back as a tag team, and I think that's the only one that really is organic and really they wrestle as a tag team.
What is it about tag team wrestling, Charles, that you like so much as a fan?
Man, I like the coordination between the two, right? Like you look at the Dudley Boyz, you look at the Hardy Brothers, you look at, Demolition, you look at, there was always the Steiner Brothers, right? Like my favorite of all time. They always had coordination between them. Like you knew the tag was, I think that just the tag, right? One wrestler's down and out and is reaching for the tag, and just to get that fresh wrestler in, man, that just adds a layer of just psychology, right? You're reaching for the tag, you can't reach. He gets pulled back, right? It's just a layer of psychology that we don't have anymore.
Yeah, man. I agree. And I agree with all that. There's something about a tag team match. There's an energy in the ring, just how much is going on, such a small amount of space. And then you have that extra layer of the wrestlers in the ring, and then you have those wrestlers, in their corners, and you have to keep an eye on what they're doing because usually the heel is cheating, right?
Yep, absolutely.
The heel's trying to pull some stuff. The other person, the other corner has their back, right? And then there's like the tag in, and then, you know, the rules have changed with their strategy in terms of when you tag. And in my mind, and then there's the other layer of tag teams, which I think is a huge part of it, is that good tag teams always had managers, which we've talked about in previous episodes.
Adds another layer of psychology to it, you know?
Right. You know, tag teams have managers. So then you have that. And usually sometimes it's two tag teams with a manager, but most of the time it's a tag team with a manager. And that manager provides a layer of storytelling and personality.
Or different.
And I don't know. So from my perspective, you just talked about what was in the ring, and that's what's going on in the ring at the time, right? And here's another small thing. Like now you have individual wrestlers who are coming out to their walk-on songs, their walkout songs, and they're not coming out as a tag team, except for the Usos, right?
Yeah.
The Usos are coming out as a tag team, right?
They are, and they kind of remixed Jey Uso's song, his Yeet song. They kind of remixed it, right? So it's a tag team. And I like how they did it, man. Like I said, the Usos, man, I think they're a great tag team, dude. They work so well together.
Right. But like, where's the with the exception of the Usos, where's the tag team song? You know,
there's no villain to the Usos, so it gets kind of stale because there's nobody to run with them, you know?
Right. You have a bunch of individuals who are cobbled together into ad hoc tag teams. And in my mind, and, you know, like when I think of like tag teams that have their real hardcore tag team identity, the obvious one is the Four Horsemen, right? And like Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, probably one of the greatest tag teams ever. And those guys were tag team specialists. And very rarely, I guess, you know, like Tully would hold the Intercontinental or the international title for a little bit and do his own single things, but that was a very rare thing. I mean, we're talking like they were a tag team, and they were matched up against the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette, right? And, you know, that was my first like memorable tag team. And the way that you and I described it, they came out as a unit, they were branded together. And today I just, with the exception of the Usos, I just don't see that. And I can't understand from a marketing perspective why the WWE thinks that's not a good product. Maybe it's financial. Maybe the fans today don't like tag teams. Not really sure.
I think you could actually get, because there's so much talent on the WWE roster, even with cuts and stuff, there's so much talent. You could easily get tag team in a tag team match. Tag team match, you get 4 wrestlers exposure, 4 wrestlers to work with the same amount of time as a singles match. Right. So I think you get more wrestlers exposure, you get more wrestlers to work. I only see different advantages to it monetarily wise. And that's what TKO is going to go for whatever, you know, pushes that needle on the money side. So I don't see a reason why tag teams are just kind of like not there right now. You know, my remember the Road Warriors, right? That was like, I was a little kid, man. I loved the Road Warriors. Like they were just, they were they were so powerful. And then the Steiner Brothers, man, I love the Steiner Brothers in WCW. Those were my 2 like favorite tag teams when I was growing up. My introduction to them, and they just worked so well off each other. Their moves were coordinated. They knew it was just like, man, it was just beautiful to watch.
Yeah. I mean, you bring up a good point, man, which is like, all right, so the Road Warriors are a great example. Probably one of the best examples. Like they came out with that, like, they came out, I think it was Iron Man. That was their song. You know,
I think so. Yeah.
They came out with Iron Man. They had the shoulder pads with the spikes, you know, they had the face paint, the mohawks, and they were just a very menacing, they were like,
they're just there to kick ass, dude. You know,
they were complicated baby faces, right? Like they were, they would beef with, you know, heels and baby faces, and they were just kind of ass kickers, as you said.
Yeah. They were like the Stone Cold before Stone Cold, kind of just like, hey, listen, I came to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
That's right.
You know, didn't matter who you were.
Rest in peace, Roddy Piper, man.
Right. They Live, right? Great movie.
Yeah.
I think that movie is like more real than, you know, nowadays. I think that movie is probably factual. They Live, but that's another subject for another time. Or different. I mean, movie's well ahead of his time.
Unbelievable. Yeah. It's funny. I asked just as I was thinking about the episode, I asked my wife, who's your favorite tag team? And, you know, she's not as deep of a mark as me, but she follows it from a cultural perspective, you know, and her response was interesting. It was the Von Erichs, right?
Okay.
And, you know, it's interesting. She grew up, she's an NCO's daughter. She kind of grew up in a working class house, you know, and that was part of her life. And
Or
she
different.
watched the territories. It's interesting. She lived in Amarillo, you know, for a while, and she was up there
America's
in that
Texas royalty,
territory.
man.
Dude, like just the funks, man, like
Yeah.
royalty, right? But it was interesting. Her response was interesting because of the Texas connections, and like it got me thinking about the territories and what the territories, man, tag teams were a staple of the territories.
Yeah.
You know, and there's something about traveling on the road every single day and being a tag team and being a unit and traveling together and training together.
Or
I
different.
just think, I don't know, maybe I'm just being romantic, but I think that there's something about the territories specifically that maybe is more conducive to tag teams versus like a global product
Right.
of a publicly traded company. Maybe that's just natural evolution of the business.
Yeah, and I think a lot of tag teams were like organic, right? They're real brothers, same race, same
Mhm.
style. Or you have the opposite, right? Kind of like R-Truth and Damian Priest, right? Total opposites, but it don't
Total
work.
opposites,
It
right?
don't work. But I think with so much talent on the roster, you can do that. I mean, there's of course you have the Usos, man, but there's so much Samoan talent on the roster. I think you could easily put together two other good tag teams, and maybe have a Samoan on Samoan rivalry, right?
Yeah.
You know, African American wrestlers. You could have, you have European wrestlers right now, which are these European wrestlers are the or El American Grande, like
Mhm.
Ludwig Kaiser, like it's that thing doesn't hit for me like that, like white luchador, right? But like have the English wrestlers or the European wrestlers like tag team, and
Yeah.
have go up against white wrestlers or Samoan wrestlers or African American tag teams. And you could have like a kind of a country war type deal. I
Yeah.
think I
Yeah.
think that they're really missing the mark. They have so much talent there that they could do so much with.
You know, while we're on tag teams and we're talking about the issues of race, you know, one of my favorite interracial tag teams of all time is the Acolytes, man.
Yeah,
Dude,
APA.
here, let me tell you something. That team, that unit, Ron Simmons and JBL, bro,
Yeah.
that was a tag team.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's so many different storylines that you can pull from that. Right now, it was interesting. They just kicked ass. You know, the whole like Protection Society, the promos they do like in bars and like destroy bars for real.
Right.
Like WWE would pay the bar owner. You know,
They have the invisible door.
yes,
right?
invisible door. You know,
Hey, aren't you gonna knock? Like
so Rocky
business here. Like what are you
Yeah.
doing? Like,
Yeah.
no manners.
Frat boys come in and asking for protection, you know, good stuff. And it was interesting too. Like the WWE wanted to do the racial thing, right? They wanted to like make this a racial thing.
And
And
JBL said no, hell no.
both of them said no because they didn't want it to be about that, which today I don't think would fly. But like they just said, man, that's my brother. And we're just two guys who kick ass. And also, I remember when, you know, JBL screwed over Ron Simmons, you know, after Heyman brought him over. And that was an emotional moment, man. Like for me, that was a gut punch because that's not just a breakup of a tag team. That's a breakup of a family.
Yeah, it was.
And,
No, man.
but
And they're like,
it launched JBL's career into heeldom, man.
Yeah.
To me, that's the thing about a tag team. The personalities, not just with other, so personalities within the team, as you correctly pointed out, race, background, you know, and the the tension is always there. How long is this project going to stay on the tracks?
right. Or
And
different.
you can see the mega powers. You saw it from a mile away. At some point, Hogan and Randy.
It was it was gonna last. Right.
You don't get that with an individual. Storytelling, man, you know.
He tried to escape out the window. What a coward. The Rockers.
Yeah, the Rockers. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
There were some
Shawn
other
Michaels,
good ones too.
like some of them you can see there's a star there, and he's gonna eventually break off, like you said, but you don't know when. Kind of like the Rockers, right?
Yeah.
And it's just it has so many different layers of storytelling and psychology. I think it's just missing today.
Yeah. Hart Foundation, you know,
Man, yeah, great.
literal brothers, you know, the Von Erichs, the Hart Foundation, the Von Erichs. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. The British Bulldogs, you know, yeah. And then today we have the Usos and we have some ad hoc tag teams, like even in the women's division, man.
Yeah.
Kari Sane got released. That broke up the Kabuki Warriors. They've been around for a long time. And so maybe, possibly it's financial, as you pointed out. Maybe the plan is to take NXT talent or younger talent and assemble tag teams. But what I hope doesn't happen, what I hope it is that we're devaluing tag teams.
Yeah. I think they're already devalued, man. I
think so?
really do. Or different. Just because there isn't nothing out there.
Yeah.
And like I said, we have the Usos, but no one else to run with them.
Yeah.
Who's going to run with them? R-Truth and Damian Priest?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. With the athleticism that the wrestlers have today. Now, I think we can agree that today the wrestlers they do a lot more, death-defying spots.
Oh, absolutely. They're crazy athletes. Yeah, crazy athletes.
Do you think that a tag team format allows them to showcase that athleticism to do those spots? Or do you think it's one of those things because of the nature, how you have to share the ring with so many people? I don't know. I've never wrestled before, so I don't know what the wrestler's perspective would be on that.
Interesting question, but they've done it for 100 years.
Yeah.
To me, they're better athletes, so they should even be better at doing that and sharing the ring. Or
I just want to see wrestlers reach into the turnbuckles, pull out like a freaking pair of brass knucks. Reach in their trunks, pull out some brass knucks,
Or the old school, you take the pad off the top turnbuckle,
That's right.
That's right. Just those old school tricks, man. Like, it's just so hilarious. And the little rope that they got to hold on to tag. Yeah, if they lose control of the rope, that tag don't count. Like, there's so many levels that you can play, and it just makes it so fun.
Yeah. I liked it when, I don't know, I always thought it was funny, like whenever like a tag team would get introduced, like let's say like the heels or the squash job is in the ring and like they're waiting and like the tag team rushes in there and they both just start wailing on them and they wail and then they finally say, screw it, man, let's ring the bell, ding 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 ding. They break into their corners. Like, I don't know, I don't want to say comedy, but I also laughed a lot more during tag teams because of the devious, dirty tricks that you get away with, distracting the ref while it's just the manager distracting the ref while the two guys double teamed.
Yep. Or different. There's a lot of layers to it, man, that we just don't have now,
Yeah, indeed. Here's a nerdy tag team question. I have an opinion on this, but you know more about the stuff than me, and I want to ask you, how much is too much? How many is too much in a ring at one time for a tag team? You hear, like the WCW, I think they did like 6-man tag teams, 4-man tag teams. How much is too much in your mind?
I really think just traditional 2-man tag teams is the way to go. We have those 6-way tag matches. So those feel too like there's too much going on that you can't follow it, because there's so much stuff going on at once. But I think really just the traditional 2-man is where I like, I think is that sweet spot.
Yeah. What are like tag teams where they emerged and were like, dude, this is just a matter of time before this caves in, or the moment it was formed, like tag teams where it was like, dude, this is never going to last. Like those tag teams that were marriages of convenience.
Yeah. You said the Mega Powers, right? Like that's
the most obvious.
You knew that was going to blow up. That infamous like handshake, like
that's right.
It was funny. Hilarious, man. The two coked up, just insane human beings.
Imagine being in that locker room, man.
Yeah, just insane human beings. Man, that's a good question.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I remember Kurt and Brock teaming up.
Yeah.
And you knew that was going to come off the rails.
Right.
Kurt was not to be trusted. He was devious and he was trying to screw over a simpleton Brock Lesnar,
Kurt was so good, man. He could play any role, man. He was so good.
Man. Or I can't wait till we deep dive Kirk Angle. He's the man.
Won a gold medal, a broken freaking neck.
That's right. There are some good ones, man. Like, just, I don't know. I think we've hit it, man. It's like, we know like what they lose. I don't know where WWE is going to take this, man. I really don't. To me, the death of the tag team is a real, even globally, like, Japan had some legendary tag teams, the Crush Gals, man. I don't know if you know about them or not, but you should check them out sometime.
Check it out, yeah.
They were bigger than Hulk Hogan ever was inside of Japan.
Oh, wow.
Like, unbelievable. They were a phenomenon, and they were a unit, right? I don't know. There's some real power behind a unified team that goes in, watches each other's backs, overcomes the odds, overcomes cheating heels. And and I think also too, like, heels as a tag team. See, I'm a big heel guy, but it's almost like in tag teams, it's almost like designed for baby faces.
Yeah.
Go over, right? Because we love like two guys with positive attributes working together. It's friendship.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, it makes you feel good. Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's tag teams, baby faces make you feel good, whereas individual heels, I like to see heels get over, on the baby faces on the individual level.
Yeah, me too, dude.
But tag teams, I don't like to see heels win. I like to see the good guys win.
I'm trying to think of a good heel tag team.
I mean, Midnight Express, dude, for me, like that's with Jim Cornette growing up in the South in the 80s. They were it for me, man. I mean, they were phenomenal. Let's see. This is a good question to get my old man brain going. Do you consider the Rockers were baby faces? Hart Foundation were baby faces, but then there was like the Americans, right? Is that what they were called? They were brawling like with the Hart Foundation.
Man, I forget. It wasn't Hacksaw Jim Duggan and somebody.
Yeah, and then there was the Iron Sheik when Sergeant Slaughter healed up.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, but that was interesting, right? It was two opposite, right? Two different opposites. And it just like, man, there's so many layers when you add these guys up, and I think it, once a run for an individual run comes stale.
Yeah.
And you kind of don't know what else to do with the wrestler type deal.
Right.
Like, hey man, tag him up with somebody else. Right. And see where it goes, right? Get a gimmick, and just see where it goes.
I think you nailed it, because I think there's a difference between, so remember Kane and Undertaker, they did a lot of work together, right? But they weren't known as, I don't think they were known as they didn't have like a tag team brand, right? And I think that's the difference. If you put two wrestlers together and they form a team and they're not branded, there's something very non-permanent about that. Versus if you have like the Rockers, Hart Foundation, Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, that to me signals that these guys and gals aren't going anywhere. Like, this is going to be a thing. Versus if you just like put together two wrestlers who are probably over, it lacks commitment, in my opinion. So I don't know. It's an interesting topic. I feel bad that we're losing New Day. I want to hear your thoughts on how you thought they were used. You mentioned you're pretty critical of their gimmick.
Yeah, I didn't like their gimmick, man. I think they're good wrestlers individually, and I think as tag team, they worked well together inside the ring. But their gimmick, I was lost on, man. It never really resonated with me. I didn't get it. I think they could have easily went heel, like hardcore, I forgot to mention the Harlem Heat. Oh. They could have went like Harlem Heat level,
right?
African American urban, like that level of heel, easy. They could have done it easy, and I think that was missed on them. Yeah, I think they missed a huge opportunity.
Harlem Heat, man.
Yeah, me too, man.
2 of 3 were Hall of Famers. 1 of 3, arguably the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So that was a hell of a freaking stable, right? And then you had Evolution.
Yeah. And I think, even looking at the bigger picture, you look at factions, there's not a lot of factions right now in the WWE. And so a lot of times, you have tag teams and factions, right? There's 1 or 2 tag teams inside a faction.
Great point. So you're right. We got to get our terms down, because 4 Horsemen was not a tag team. 4 Horsemen was a faction, right?
But you had the tag team inside the faction.
Had the tag teams inside the faction, right? Interesting. So technically, the 4 Horsemen are a tag team, right? That's a good point. So, do you think the business is going to go to factions over tag teams?
Man, it's a good question. I think they're doing it right now. I think they could. What factions do we have out there right now?
I mean, you called it. You said Bloodline 2030.
Yeah. And we'll see how that comes out. But obviously, there's that Samoan, there's that Samoan, and it's kind of a rivalry right now, even though per this last SmackDown and the last Raw, and we'll see what happens on Monday with Jacob Fatu. He's kind of a lone wolf out there right now. And he doesn't really have any backing from any other Samoans right now. He's kind of doing his own thing, where all, Jay and Jimmy are like, hey, brah, like, don't go against the tribal chief type deal. And he's like, yeah, whatever type deal. So I'm wondering if, and even with Solo Sikoa, man, he's, it's, man, there's just so many different levels of elements out there that I love, man, because you don't know who's going to turn on who at any given time.
Do you talk about other factions out there? Well, there's Grande Americano, which,
Yeah, they got the whole.
It's Chad Gable and Ludwig Kaiser.
Yep.
Ludwig Kaiser made some headlines this past week, another drunken rant by Ric Flair, but we'll push that aside for now. But like, that's not getting it done for me.
Different. They tried at first, right? Because they said they're from the Gulf of America, right? And that was the whole like Trump thing.
I like it.
I liked it too, even though I can't stand Trump. I liked where they were going, but turn it up.
Yeah,
right.
Turn it up,
and then get, say, an African American or whoever, somebody other than that, to kind of play the other side, right? I think they missed the mark on it. It's stale now. It's stale.
Back to the storytelling, man. There's so much. Like, we always talk about like emotional connection and how like your traditional base of wrestlers are usually working class, type of folks. Blue collar, I shouldn't say working, blue collar type folks. I hate that term working class. I don't know why I said.
We all work.
Yeah.
We all work, man.
Yeah, it's just the whole, blue collar, right? And so that's your traditional base. You also got a lot of people from across the world who are living in communities in the United States, and they have wrestling traditions that comes into markdom. And for me, it just lends itself again to factions and tag teams. And there are so many different like layers that you can add in. To your point, this kind of goes back to one of the big points you've made, which is like, hey man, we got cultural tension. Let's freaking bring it into the ring.
Yeah. And let's turn it up, man.
People are going to freaking respond to it. Movies do it. Music does it. Why can't wrestling? Right.
And we can still keep it PG, keep it PG-13.
Right.
Where it's not going to be cringy.
Yeah.
I understand it's not the Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression Era anymore. You can still turn it up.
I mean, there's a difference between like talking about social tensions. Again, like movies do it all the time. And I consider wrestling to be like
it's entertainment. It's entertainment.
Same thing. It's a difference between, there's a difference between that and some of the crap that you saw. And I call it crap because that's what I thought it was, even at the time during the Attitude Era, putting the bed in the middle of the ring, all that kind of stuff. And, the way that they portrayed women and everything. I mean, even as a 20-something, I mean, I noticed that it didn't necessarily run away from the TV. I'm not a Puritan, but at the time I saw it was just dumb, right? But it was it was all the higher card main event stuff that was just off the charts, right? But like for me, there's a difference between that part of the Attitude Era and then like the value of really addressing it, man. Like Smoky Mountain Wrestling, dude. They went right at it, man. It was like X-Wing fighters on the reactor and the Death Star, and they went right for it, dude. And to me, that's what wrestling is.
Yeah, man.
Not this.
Get your emotions up, man. It gets your emotions up. You start caring about it.
Yeah.
When something in here cares about it, man, that's what makes it
100%.
Yeah, 100%. So much better, dude.
This isn't Disney. This is wrestling. So I think we've kicked the crap out of. Let's talk about some news.
Yeah.
I'm also fired up about this, and you're the cooler head here, so I'm going to let you lead out. Roman Reigns is not showing up on promotional materials for the big events coming up this summer. What the heck is happening? Our champion is not headlining.
Yeah, I think, and I'm just speculating because there's no one said anything, but I just hope not, but I'm speculating that it might be a health reason, right? We all know Roman has a type of leukemia, right? He's been wrestling with that like for a long time now, which is insane to me. Insane. Like, dudes has blood cancer and like still wrestles and stays in the shape he stays in. But I hope that didn't. Or different. I heard he was in remission last time, but I just hope that maybe that didn't come back, and that's the reason why. So that's the only thing I can think of.
Well, let's hope that's not the case, because let's hope for him and his family.
I was really loving the Jacob Fat too, and the build up with Roman and the like I said, we just said about the Samoans like beefing and like, man, what faction is going to result out of this? Who's going to back up Roman? Who's going to back up? And I talked about it earlier with you, man. Even though we love tag teams, I would love to see Jimmy and Jay split and one backs Jacob and one backs Roman. And like, man, that could be such a great like story.
Oh, yeah. Break it up, man. I mean, that's to keep it fresh, you know.
Yeah. Or different.
So I mean, I hope that's I listen. On one hand, I hope. Okay, the bottom line is I hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
Because for his family's sake.
Absolutely. Or different.
If that were the case, then I'll cut the WWE some slack. There really is nothing you can do about that. If it's not the case, it's just a case of he needs a break, or you know what, dude. Like that's like having Top Gun 3 and 4 and telling Tom Cruise, yeah, you're not going to be in 3, so you can be ready for 4. Like he's carrying the strap, right? So
I don't think that's it, because he said he was going to be a fighting champion.
Yeah.
You know, there's something that came into play that was not expected, I think. Whether it's an injury, whether it's health, I don't know what that is, but no, he's going to have to pivot real quick.
Yes, they will. And who's going to step up? Who are they going to turn to? Honestly, I hope it's not Cody or CM Punk. Not because I dislike those guys, because I love both those guys, but you're just contributing to their staleness if you do that. It's hitting the easy button, turning to your big money guy saying, I need you to cover. I'm telling you, Obafemi, man.
That'd be great, dude.
Obafemi. I really believe he can carry the business right now. He's that freaking good.
I think Jacob Fatu could carry the business as well, man. So I think both are, you know, up and comers, man, with tons of potential that are ready for that run.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, they got rocket ship behind both of them right now. And however you pair them up against each other, man, I think that would be a great run.
Yeah. Indeed. I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about a couple of things I kind of saw in the news. You like politics. I like politics too. So guess which former presidential candidate weighed in on WWE this past week?
Oh, man, I didn't hear.
Andrew Yang from the Yang Gang. Remember him?
No, but okay.
So Andrew Yang was like this young, like I think it was like 2016. He was kind of like this young Asian American, kind of very wealthy. I think he was an entrepreneur or VC. It doesn't matter. And he had these really kind of forward-thinking ideas about universal basic income. And, you know, he predicted that society is going to change in a way where labor is going to matter less. And it's going to be about just having a universal basic income where people can just live and think.
Right.
And, you know, and people thought he was insane. I would actually argue.
Elon says something like that recently as well.
I don't think it's insane at all, personally. I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetimes, but I can see it at some point. Anyway, I saw where he was like being critical of WWE for bad storytelling. And Yang is a fan. He's a mark. I thought that was cool.
Nice. Hell yeah.
I would love to see I don't care what your politics are.
Yeah.
Put a man or woman in the White House who's a mark, and I'm there for it, man.
I'll probably vote for you just because of that, right? You got my vote, dude. Because right now the litmus test for who I vote for, who we can vote for, really isn't that much higher.
It was pretty funny. I thought it was a nice ray of sunlight in my day. To see that.
No, heck yeah, dude.
It's kind of funny. So there was that. On a more serious note, a recovered alcoholic. I don't think it
or different.
I don't. I listen. I can take a joke, and I'm impossible to offend. Really.
Me too. Yeah. 21 years in the Army, like you can't. Yeah. Or different.
However, I don't make jokes about substance abuse.
Yeah.
It's serious, and therefore I say this with seriousness. As Ric Flair clearly has a major substance abuse problem.
Or different. He's lived off substance abuse problems for the last 70 years, whatever he is.
Yeah. And if you go on his social media feeds, it's clear that he does a lot of his work while he's drunk. And he's also elderly. And again, I don't make jokes about cognitive decline. However, it's clear to me that this is a guy who is, love him or hate him, he matters. He's on that Rushmore for a lot of people.
Yep, absolutely.
And I hate to see a guy tarnish his legacy. He's saying just the outrageous things. He went after Ludwig Kaiser recently, you know, and then he came out with like this very long and clearly drunk apology. He just goes up and down and up and down. And we talked about the whole Brett Favre thing. Like, you know, at what point do you just shut up and just like,
or different,
you know, ride the wave of life?
Yeah.
I think he's there, man. And I worry about him. I don't know. There are people that say that Rick.
Yeah. I think he's such a unique individual. Like he's a one-on-one, right? Like I don't think you can ever silence him or stop him. He's gonna do what he's gonna do regardless.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that are like, "Hey, Charlotte, why aren't you taking care of your dad?" and blah blah blah. Like, listen, that's not really. I mean, yes, I see that's her dad, and she has some responsibility there. But again, he's a grown man, right?
Yeah.
He's always been outlandish and just
Yeah.
Ric Flair, right? So to think that that's going to stop when he's in his 80s or whatever, however old he is funny, you know?
Anything, it's going to get worse, right?
It probably will, right? Dementia and everything starts sitting in, and it may get, and that's just, or
Ric
different Flair, man. You know, it's sad, but you know, it's, I read some, few articles on the internet or whatever, where he's just like, he goes to certain bars all the time and he just drunk off his ass and like shits his pants type deal, like at the bar. And it's sad, right? And like, you know, you would think, I don't know, you can't, he's a grown man. It's a free country. You know, you can trying to get a sitter or somebody to help him out, you know, but he's still going to do what he wants to do.
Yeah. 100%. And
different.
It's interesting too. Like he also went after a lot of notable podcasters as well. And
come after us.
Yeah. I'd love for him to come after us, you know, and let's just have it right, man. Like I love Ric Flair. Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a reason why my one Mark belt is a Ric Flair belt, right? And I understand that, you know, they always say, let Rick be Rick. I totally get that. But what bothers me more than like his drunkenness or whatever is there's a certain level, because you are of the business and the business enriched you, and there's a certain level of professionalism, right? That comes with it. And so, yes, marks are going to criticize your daughter because she's performing. That's what they do, right? And if podcasters want to come out and they want to offer a critique of her match, and then you want to like turn it into scorched earth, that's good for podcasters. So you want to give these guys a platform. That's the best way to do it, right?
And he should get that, right? Like if no one said anything about his daughter, then that would probably be a problem because no one cares.
Right.
But people still care. So people are going to say so. So she's doing her job.
Right. So actually, I have Charlotte's been very up and down for me. But I'll give this to Charlotte, man. Her match with Stephanie Vaquera was really freaking good. Her athleticism absolutely cannot be questioned. And this marriage of convenience between her and Rhea Ripley, that could be interesting, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That very like that you saw the handshake that was very like, okay, I guess I got to do this, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know that's going to come off the rails at some point. So I think Charlotte is very talented, but if a Mark offers a criticism, everyone.
That means people are watching her. People care. That's
right. Everyone hates Nepo babies, and there's a reason for it, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. I just think
no one's commenting. That's when you have a problem, right? If you have no haters out there, then you have a problem because you're not doing anything right.
That's right.
And for Rick not to see that, you know, I can see it as daddy's daughter. I get it, man. I have a daughter of my own, man. I probably murder anybody that would say anything, you know, negative about her. But being in the business, man, you got to know that's going to come with it.
That's right. Speaking of daughters, you sent me a very, very cool thing today that brought tears to my eyes.
Oh, yeah, Brock. And
tell everybody about that. I love that.
Mark Henry was talking, and it brought him to tears. You know, Mark Henry has a daughter that's in the game, is wrestling, coming up, and he said, you know, Brock Lesnar basically kind of pulled his daughter aside and schooled her, and just gave her a bunch of just educating her on her, and gave her a bunch of knowledge. And Mark Henry said, me and Brock were never really friends. You know, we worked together, and that was it. But you know, it brought tears to his eyes for Brock to do that because he didn't have to. No one saw it but Mark. And, you know, Brock basically said, you know, I have kids and none of them are in the wrestling business. You know, one's a shot putter and then I forget what his boys do, but they're not in the wrestling business. And so he needs somebody to pass that knowledge on to, right? And it just happened to be Mark Henry's daughter. Or different. Super cool, man. It brought, like you said, you want to see like one of the scariest individuals in the world tear up. You see Mark Henry tear up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should put that in the bio below, man, in the description below. People can click it. It's really cool. And I think it speaks to something that you and I both like. And that is like the brotherhood, the sisterhood of the business.
That appeals to us, just being, you know, Army veterans, retirees who've been on a team, quote unquote team, for the last 20 plus years.
That's right.
Or different. That I think it just really parallels how wrestling is a lot of ways.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, right? We're forced to do business with people, whether we like them or not. We have to do business with them. We're in the same unit. We have to do business, and our business is maybe deploying and shooting the bad guy in the face or whatever that business is. We're not. We don't like everybody we're stationed with and in the unit with. Matter of fact, I can't stand some of these MFers, right? But we got to do business together.
Right. That's right.
Right. And it's the same thing with wrestling.
Yeah, 100%. And, it's funny, Brock, I never questioned his talent.
Insane
talent. Like he's a, and what he has accomplished in his broader career, both on the mat and in NCAA's, UFC,
yeah,
WWE. Like he was in Japan. Like there was no doubting that. But for me, he was one of those guys I never really connected with on an emotional level because he was always very introverted. He was all, but to see like Brock's retirement done right, and now to hear about Brock and things he did behind the scenes is actually making me start to relate to him a lot more.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. In his retirement, are we going to see a side of Brock Lesnar that we've never seen? I personally am very excited by that because he's always been somewhat of a mystery.
I don't know, dude. I think he might go back to South Dakota to his ranch or farm and milk farm.
That's probably what he wants to do.
Just bale hay all day. Yeah.
His daughter might be an Olympian, man. She is good at the shot put. She's got the genes, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he's probably set for life, and he probably just wants to go bale hay with the cows on his farm in South Dakota.
Yeah.
Or different. But who knows, right? Who knows? He may get bored of that and get that itch again and come back into the limelight and, maybe do something with WWE or whatever the case is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. It was pretty cool, man, after Brock's retirement, to at least see some of the retrospectives. Because unlike with Cena's last match, we kind of thought it would happen that there wasn't a build up like all the retrospectives. But after Brock retired, there's been a whole bunch of retrospectives, and you take a look at his career, man. I mean,
insane. Yep.
The most epic WrestleMania moment for me was when he did the flying star,
the shooting star. Yeah.
The shooting star. Thank you. Yeah. I mean,
or different for a man that size to do a shooting star.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like it defies like laws of physics.
Yeah. And then he survived it.
But he would do that spot on the regular. Like he would do that spot. They say he did that spot in house shows. Like, insane, dude.
He learned it. I think he did. Like, I don't know where he learned it, but I know that like they said Smoky Mountain when he was coming up the development, OVW rather. I can't remember if it was Smoky Mountain or OVW. He would do it, and people would tell him, it's like, dude, that's a really dangerous.
He probably, just fucking Brock.
Yeah, just Brock. So it's pretty cool. What a career. Yeah. Obviously a Hall of Famer.
He did it the right way, man. He retired the right way. 100%. That's how you retire, bro. I didn't like the John Cena's final run, dude. It missed the mark for me. It was just different.
Yeah.
Cringe to me. And then, but yeah, retiring like Brock, like a man. And then there was some fallout behind it. I don't know how true it is, but Triple H was pissed off because he didn't know. And I truly believe that he didn't know, because if you remember when Brock retired, he went like this to Paul Heyman, like, hey, this is off script, because Paul didn't know. And so I think there was what they said is that there was going to be, his retirement was going to be my boy, what's his name? Can't think of his name, man. That's how irrelevant he is to me. Gunther was going to retire him, right? At Backlash, right? Like, nah, Brock wasn't going out like that. Brock's going to go out on his own terms. He's got to give you a double, the double barrel salute. And Brock's going to do what Brock does, man. That's how he is. That's how he's always been. He's going to do what Brock does. I love the way he retired, man. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Well, something, it's become very fashionable to criticize Triple H. I'm not going to do that tonight. All I'll say is this, with the exception of Brock Lesnar, who we know infamously went to the back after his match with Undertaker and chucked the belt at Vince, right? With the exception of Brock Lesnar, Vince would not have ever accepted that kind of crap. Someone going off script doing their own thing, right? Like, and again, I don't put Vince on a pedestal. Vince is highly deserving of being where he is today for everything that he's done.
I mean, Stone Cold did it to Vince before, but you have to get to a certain level, right? To to kind of do that to Vince. I'm sure
Dude, you better be like a freaking Mount Rushmore star.
like
Right.
Hulk Hogan, obviously, Stone Cold did it, where Stone Cold just walked away.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah.
Or different, yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting. By the way, did you hear Stephanie McMahon's Hall of Fame speech?
Yeah, dude, I didn't hear it, man. I heard it was like 50 minutes long or something
Bro,
crazy. Like,
it was
come on
insane.
now.
It
Come
was
on now.
insane. I mean, again, do I think Stephanie McMahon deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? I absolutely do.
Absolutely.
She's made a ton. I'm not talking about that. It's like, come on, girl.
You're not the main. You're not the. You're not. Or different.
Yeah. So, I know you and I were talking about baseball earlier, and I think the Baseball Hall of Fame has been compromised, but this isn't a baseball podcast, it's a wrestling podcast. I'm also a big fan that like general managers and managers should not be in the Hall of Fame. I think that the Hall of Fame should be for players, period, right? Owners shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, right? I feel the same way about the WWE Hall of Fame. Wrestlers, talent.
I think Shane O'Mac deserves being in the WWE Hall of Fame more than Stephanie. Shane put his body on the line. He did insane shit for like a while until he and his dad parted ways.
Makes you wonder.
He was good, man. He was athletic, man. He was good, dude. I mean, he was like the other wrestlers, like they say, he was stiff. They'd have to tune him up every once in a while. But man, the dude did some crazy stuff.
Yeah, he did. It's interesting. Shano. Boy, I'm thinking about storylines. You want to talk about like bringing like the boss into a storyline.
Yeah.
Storyline for the creative control of WWE.
Yeah.
You put Shano against Triple H and Stephanie. I mean,
Shane comes back, with
dude,
his dad, with his
his little pinstripe freaking jersey on. Dude, the freaking marks would lose their mind.
Yeah.
Right. And that's also something, since people are down on WWE creative right now, like that's something that people would like pay attention to. It's like, oh, interesting. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't think he's, I don't know, I don't know him obviously, but he's probably not in the right space to come back. From what I hear, he's running probably 10 different businesses and enjoying his family.
Yeah. 100%.
But I think that itch will always be there for those guys, just like our itch for like deploying and being in the army. That itch is always there, right?
100%.
Or different, especially you're in front of 50,000 fans, on TV, live TV, in front of millions of people, man. Like I think that's a adrenaline and just a or dopamine high that only certain people ever get, and I don't think you can ever recreate that. And so that itch will always be there. It's like an addict, like you said. There's that dopamine high, and only a handful of guys have ever got that. And Shane got that at one time, and so I know that itch is probably still there. But
Yeah. So here's a thought experiment. Can you conceive, recognizing that Vince's dad stood up the business in the territories, Vince took it global, now you got Stephanie and Triple H. Can you conceive of the WWE without a McMahon or McMahon adjacent person at all? Are we moving toward an area where the McMahons won't be the prominent person in the building in Connecticut?
That's a good question, because after Triple H and Steph, who do you got? There's no one else, right? They don't have any kids.
Yeah. I mean,
Vince is about 110.
Yeah. Vince is a little bit occupied with other things right now.
Right.
I mean, it's almost like if
Shane could come back, he's got a family, he's got some kids, right? If that's about the only option I see.
Yeah. I mean, we all know that
Stephen
TKO owns it, but like, is this the time now to basically like end the McMahon run at WWE and take the business in a totally different direction where you don't have this McMahon shadow? I don't know. Listen, man, in spite of everything, and this is probably a character flaw of mine, in spite of everything, if I saw Vince McMahon, I'd lose my mind, right? Like, just simply, everything that he and his family have done.
Yeah.
I don't think ever possible.
He's a one-on-one. He's a one-on-one. Like, somebody like that will never exist again, Yeah. And so to recreate that is it's never going to happen.
It would be really hard. It's kind of like the dude who replaced Nick Saban.
Yeah. Right? Screwed.
It's going to be really hard for the
person way to succeed. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, especially with marks being what they are, they'll find reasons to whine and complain about anything.
Absolutely. I think Triple H has done a good job. I think obviously there's room for improvement. There always is. I think overall he's done a good job, and I think we have just because we have fond memories of the golden years, Attitude Era, and Ruthless Aggression area. Like Vince had some duds too, man. Like Vince would did some dumb shit too. Like we romanticize about how great Vince was when he ran it, but it wasn't. Like, listen, the WWE almost went out of business back in the day. Like WCW almost put him out of business for at one point.
Yep.
Until you had Stone Cold and The Rock come up and kind of save the business.
Yep. Yeah. 100%.
So people forget those. Like, people forget all the dumb crap that Vince did.
I mean,
and stupid storylines that they had back in the day. How Vince still wanted that cartoon characters when everything else was going kind of hardcore, and WCW, fighters, the NWO, and Vince still wanted that Hulk Hogan, cartoon character type stuff, and it just wasn't working. I think, be careful what people ask for. People like, oh, I wish Vince would come back, and like, man, I don't know, man, I don't know about that.
No, I definitely think that would be a bad idea. I mean, I think again, as I said, it's become very fashionable to criticize Triple H, right?
Yeah.
And that's because the stuff that he covers, he's responsible for, are the things that affect the marks the most, which is creative, right? Now, that being said, it's also important to look at the positive things that have taken place. I mean, Netflix era, WrestleMania continues just to explode. It's turned into something that is far beyond Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
My understanding, again, I'm not a talent, but my understanding is talent relations have improved a lot. They had the occasional hiccups, but like there's the concussion protocols, there's a little bit more of a professionalization of the business. NXT, all of these kinds of things
or different
have let the WWE evolve into the new era.
Or different. Yeah, absolutely. He's done tons of positive stuff.
Yeah. So I think it's easy for Marks to shit on Triple H, right? But then sometimes it's fair to take a step back and say, well, let's also look at the good things that's happened. And I think that there's probably more good than bad. But because he's got creative control.
Right. And now people are saying, like, how much autonomy does he have with TKO?
Good question.
Head, right? Does he have to run his ideas through somebody at TKO to get his blood?
Yeah. These are things that like guys, promoters in like territories could never fathom in their wildest dreams.
Yeah.
Like those guys ran that stuff with an iron fist, and Vince ran it with an iron fist. But now there is TKO. And speaking of which, you want to stew in some? We can close on this, man. Go back and watch. Did you see Gunther's choke out of Cody Rhodes?
Horrible, bro. Horrible. Like, I don't understand this. I don't. It's sloppy. It's not real. He has like one arm over his forehead and one other arm over his like chin, like over his mouth and chin. Like, and the thing is, like, I talked about it earlier, like with the explosion of MMA, most kids, listen, there's a good amount more kids, I think, train MMA nowadays that are in football and basketball, right? So they know what a rear naked choke should look like and what it is. And with the explosion of UFC, everybody knows what a different choke is and what a legit choke out is. And for them to do the sleep, like it's not even the old school sleeper, it's like sloppy. If you look at like the old school sleeper, it actually looks better than what they do now, what Gunther is doing now. So I don't get it, man. It doesn't hit the mark. It does. I'm not buying it. No one's buying it.
Yeah.
And it's just sloppy.
TKO.
Sloppy.
TKO, if you're listening, dude, have some of your freaking fighters show up and show Gunther how to freaking choke someone out.
Yeah.
Like, make it look convincing.
Yeah, just make it look convincing. You got to choke him out, but just make it look convincing. Get at least one arm under the neck, on the neck, and squeeze a little bit.
Yeah, and also too, like you and I were talking about Cody and the need to like retool Cody. Well, Gunther coming in and chunking him out means we're going to get more Cody Rhodes in his current form. Cody's going to now beef with Gunther. He's the baby face. He's going to come out and I just remember thinking
he's going to get his ass kicked for the first 5 minutes of the match, and then he's going to do a Cody cutter and then a crossroads and then pin 1, 2, 3. Man, it's almost like Hulk Hogan all over again, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. I hope they don't miss the mark. I agree with you 100%. It's time to shake things up. Let's see some baby faces go real dark. Let's get some social stuff in there. Let's freaking, man, we need, and let's bring in some of the new talent. We can't say it over and over and over again. Dude, Obafemi, my guy, man. I'll take on any man. And that's old school wrestling, dude. I'll issue a challenge to any man who wants to come here and face me. And
Yep.
the challenge is going to crescendo until he's going to start getting some real hitters that are come in there and have some great matches. Until then, he's just going to dispose of people in under 2-3 minutes. He's been crushing dudes, man.
Yeah, I would like him and Seth Rollins to have a run.
Yeah, interesting.
Small guy, small athletic dude, big powerful dude. You know, I think that could work. I really do, man.
Yeah.
Because Seth can really carry it on the mic.
Yeah, that he can.
Or
So
different.
what
I don't know.
What an imposing figure, man. I mean,
but him and Fatu, I think, would just be insane.
take my money.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would be
Oh,
good.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, brother,
Cool,
as
man.
always, this is a highlight of my week. And,
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. Tomorrow's May the 4th, so may the 4th be with you.
For all you Star Wars nerds.
Are you a Star Wars nerd, Charles?
Hell no. I was too busy playing football and wrestling and baseball.
Okay, well, I won't show you my insane Star Wars collection. So it's not. I'm an officer. I'm a dork. You know that. So
Or different. Yeah, I never really watched Star Trek, so not sure.
Star Wars.
Wars.
There we
My
go.
bad. That was a
Love you,
joke, man.
brother.
All right, man.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to y'all
All
later.
right. Yeah, man.